Now let's turn to France, where President Emmanuel Macron is forcing through his controversial pension reforms without a parliamentary vote. Although the plan to raise the pension age from 62 to 64 passed the upper house, ministers realised that they might not have the numbers in the lower house. So it fell to the Prime Minister, Elisabeth Borne, to break the news.
Et donc, la parole est à Madame la Première ministre.
Well, as you can hear there, the reaction from MPs was boisterous, there was heckling, others were breaking into song, while others were even walking out. When she did get the chance to speak, here's what she said.
We cannot gamble on the future of our pensions. This reform is necessary. Also, because I'm attached to our social model and because I believe in parliamentary democracy, it is on your reform, on the Parliament's text, the fruit of a compromise between the two chambers, that I am ready to engage my responsibility.
Now, by engaging her responsibility, what France's Prime Minister is saying is using special constitutional powers. And this may be the least bad option for the government, but it is risky. Paragraph 3 of Article 49 has been enshrined in the Constitution since its inception in 1958. It allows the Prime Minister to force a bill through after deliberation by the Council of Ministers. But opposition politicians will call for a vote of no confidence in the government in the next 24 hours. Both sides of the political spectrum have expressed their anger. The far-right politician Marine Le Pen said opposition deputies would file a motion of no confidence in the government.
It's a question of preventing the expression of the will of the French people through their elected representatives. They didn't manage to find a majority because they were bad. This reform was unfair, badly prepared, badly conceived, badly presented, and until the end, it was like that.
Well, as the drama unfolded inside the Assembly, just have a look at what is going on outside. These are live scenes from the centre of Paris where, well, protesters are denouncing the government, and there's a heavy police presence as well. And some even tried to march on the National Assembly a little earlier, while others have been chanting. But this is the live scene where people are, again, out on the streets, not happy with this decision by President Macron to use those special measures to force through this. Here's some of what people said a little earlier.
It's unbearable. We've been mobilized for 2 months and all the opinion polls show that they reject this pension reform. It's indecent and it's not going to stop there. We are here today and we will continue the mobilization in our workplaces, everywhere in the cities, in the streets and elsewhere.
Parce qu'il faut se retrouver, faut s'organiser, faut se battre.
We have to get together. We have to get organised. We have to fight. We have to make a mess. As some people say, block everything. Take action, and in any case, what is certain is that we have to go beyond the modes of operation which have prevailed until now.
Well, President Macron made these reforms a central part of his second term, arguing it's essential for the pension system's long-term viability. So why have they created just so much anger? Well, France's retirement age is currently 62, the same as Sweden, Portugal and Greece, but much lower than many countries in Western Europe. The average retirement age across the European Union is 65. Italy and Germany have moved towards raising the official retirement age to 67, so has the UK. The French government says that raising the pension age to 64 will bring in an extra $19.5 billion, roughly 18 billion euros, by 2030. And earlier, President Macron defended his reform plan while speaking to French diplomats.
Nous devons assumer pas simplement de mettre fin.
We must assume not simply to put an end to decades of decline and weakening, which we ourselves have done, but to give ourselves the ability to re-engage necessary capabilities, to be able to deploy new skills, and basically, at a time when war has returned to European soil, to give ourselves the means to serve our interests, to defend our priorities and our influence.
Well, Bruno Payet is from the Sciences Po University in Paris. He's an expert in welfare reforms across Europe, and I got to ask him how the French president had managed to upset both ends of the political spectrum.
First of all, he managed to bother the French public opinion. That's the first thing. I think he has presented a reform that he knew was not very popular, but he was not really thinking that he should prepare it well, in the sense of making a clear study of impact, having a coherent communication strategy. And since he was too fast in doing these things, there has been a public debate that has been undermining the strength of the necessity for it, the argument of justice included in it. And the communication was full of, let's say, error and sometimes lies. So it's first a loss towards the public opinion, and then the oppositions can play with that, and both radical right, and the left can criticize for slightly different reasons this project.
Now, he should have got the Conservative, the Republican Party on side. Of course, it's a minority government that he has, but he believed initially that he'd get the numbers to get this through. He didn't. How could he not convince his natural bedfellows?
I think it's a fault of arrogance. He believed that he had a political trick, which was to propose a regularly proposed pension reform by the right wing in the Senate. And he thought that just by doing that, he would trap the right. But the right took advantage of that to increase their demand, and in a way to blackmail the government, so that the demand from the right was increasing and increasing, and he had to yield some stuff. But the right, actually, the center right is divided, and the division made them asking for more and more, and he was trapped in his trick.